gotta focus.
Hey, good evening, folks. It is D&D time. Welcome to the Wily Hobbit network of tabletop role-playing channels well, it's just one channel, but it's going to be a network someday. Yeah, that's it. So welcome. I'm Wily Hobbit. My name is Scott. To the Earth people, but to all my cool D&D friends, Wily Hobbit on the Twitches and Twitters. I'll be your Dungeon Master tonight for another game of D&D 5th Edition, Mysteries in the Dalelands. The game is set in Faerun, in the Forgotten Realms, but the party is currently in a whole other world, chasing down a super important Michigan mission. They are in the world of Mystara.
Go blue.
And we are actually go blue, and we are actually running through running through the setting of the Ruins of the Grindelroot by Sly Flourish, also known as Mike Shea. So let's go around the table and meet our characters who have all leveled up to level 5. I haven't adjusted the artwork that's scrolling through, but they are all 5th level characters now. So let's hear first from Ronvin.
Hey, I'm Vivi, and I'm playing Bronwyn, who is now not so much a baby artificer anymore, but still naive and kind of young and kind of learning. And I was told there's going to be a lot of things today that are going to be better than shiny. So I am excited.
Nice. All right, cool. How about Fragile?
Yeah, I'm Mike. I am Fragile, the favorite daughter of the Raven Queen. I'm a Hexblade Warlock, and I'm really intrigued by what we're doing down here. I feel like she's put me on a mission, and I feel like that part of the mission might be coming to an end soon, so we can be on to a new part of our adventure.
All right, very good. Algernon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Manny. I play Algernon Altano, a divination wizard who suddenly is going to become in love with a certain evocation spell. Yeah, I want to cast fireball, y'all. Real talk.
Someone got his 3rd level spells.
Yeah, like literally 3 minutes before we started tonight. Yeah.
Nice. Well, choosing is hard. Gears. What's going on, Dave?
Hey. I'm Dave. Hey Wilson on the social medias. I'm playing Gears, and they just leveled up to level 5. And unlike my colleague Algernon Altano, I got an extra attack. So, being a Warforged, that might make them look more like a blender.
KitchenAid, man. Got nothing on you.
Fine.
All right, nice. And last but certainly not least, Rue Shahar. Andrew, what's going on, brother?
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables, and I'm playing Rushahar, the Changeling Rogue.
Awesome. Changeling Rogue. You can say that now, because that little nugget was revealed last session. Very nice. And we are without our trusty Grave Domain Cleric, Fire Genasi Calavera, but I will be piloting her character should the need arise. So, gosh, I don't think I want to dispense with any housekeeping. I think we should just play D&D, don't you?
Yeah.
I think the only housekeeping I have is to express much gratitude for good friends and hopefully a fun time at the table tonight. So thanks for playing, and let's do this. So last session, the party was split. Rue decided to kind of just do some retcon work while the party was wrapping up things in the Tower of Spectacles, collecting magical items and clockwork items and constructs and all of that, and recovering from battling a giant metallic spider that was powered by the soul of a maw demon. And so Rue took the form of a zombie gnome and donned the tattered cloak and pin and began to explore around Violet Falls. Rue discovered some more zombie gnomes in one of the apartments that are built into the kind of the cave wall. It was interesting because the zombie gnomes didn't really interact much with Rue other than to remove his cloak and hang it up and take Rue's beautiful swords and hang them on the wall above the couch. They made dinner, they ate dinner, they sat on the couch, hung out, and then Rue took his leave of the zombie gnomes and went on exploring further. Went down one of the tunnels only to find an interesting cavern with a giant, kind of the face of like carved in stone with this great look of anguish upon it. And there were these stone benches that were seated sort of in a semicircle facing this huge depiction of stone angst and anguish, his face. And so Rue sat for a bit, contemplated the image. Nothing really happened, so he went down the tunnel a little further, only to discover this chasm that's stretched across this next cavern. And the chasm was full of these grindleroot spires, these dark metallic spikes and claws of hard material. And then when Rue inspected further, he noticed there was a hand, an upturned hand, in the crevasse, and some of the spires were poked up through the hand as if it were caught there. Again, made of stone. Huge hand. And the face also had a spire coming right out of its forehead. Unsure of what to make of all that, Rue moved on, investigated another cavern that was quite warm. It had a huge, like a stone round building, very low, 1-story building, but it had this big bronze dome atop it. And there was smoke coming out of the dome and this raging fire you could see inside the window of the bronze dome, inside of the stone container or building inside the cavern. And all the smoke was going up into some channels in the ceiling. There was a great bellows at the back of this. Reminded one of perhaps a giant forge or smelter. And that was kind of the extent of what Rue discovered. And in Rue's absence, the party was a little concerned when they came down and found Rue's gear stacked neatly. All the gear that Rue would normally have on him, except for his swords. And so they set about looking for Rue. They checked the pool of oily, thick goo at the base of the great 30-foot-tall, twisted, curled grindleroot spire that pokes up out of the center of the crater in the center of the Violet Falls cavern. Didn't like the smell and the sense of the ichor goo, so they moved on to the falls, the great waterfalls that escape some unseen chasm way up high beyond the 100-plus foot ceiling of the cavern. Cascades down, and as it shimmers across these pockets of beautiful violet crystals that the cavern is named for, it gives off this luminescent violet glow. And the falls disappears down into this great chasm in the floor. And when the party decided to explore and go up the stairs that kind of either side of the falls, they lead up to a ledge. And when Algernon, Gears, and Calavera went up to the ledge, they noticed some scaffolding as if mining work had been going on, and they heard this ringing of mining hammers, and sure enough, there were 3 mining hammers mining all by themselves, not being wielded by anyone. And so, kind of like the old saying, curiosity killed the cat, the diviner casts Mage Hand to go try and grab one of these 3 hammers, and
name names.
Not to name names, Algernon. The hammer, when grabbed, turned and began to, with its other 2 hammers, attack the party, putting a couple of pretty good dents in poor Calavera before Gears, Algernon, and eventually Ronvin would join the fray and end the hammers. It was almost like kind of that late scene in Pink Floyd's The Wall. These mining pick hammers come to life. Fragile, however, was unable to be bothered by all of this, for she was sort of awestruck, not quite spellbound, but her interest lie in the shimmer, the faint blue glittery glow that was coming from somewhere down in the depths of the chasm. And so she flags the party over as everything wraps up with the hammers, and the Mage Hand is sent down the chasm, the crevasse, to see what's down there. This little blue flicker of light. Because, the last time we sent the Mage Hand out, it worked out okay. And the Mage Hand returned to the top of the crevasse, to the diviner, and in it lay a tarnished amulet with a beautiful blue stone, very, very brilliant, sparkling, the source of this blue light that so enraptured Fragile. And upon the stone were cast runes in Celestial. And Fragile, being a Azamar, was able to read the runes that said, "Ye shall not enter here, and ye shall not leave here." And with a bit of tinkering and messing around, Algernon was able to discern that the amulet is an amulet of amuleting. Where is that? But basically what it does is it creates a circle of force about 30 feet high, inside which you can entrap a Celestial if you read those runes in Celestial. Or you can be inside this cylinder of force and keep a Celestial being out. Also works if you speak those runes in the language of the Abyssal. You could have the same effect on a fiend. And I think also Infernal for a devil. Does that sound about right? Fiends, devils, and celestials. And it's basically the spell magic
Undead.
circle. Undead. Yes, there we go. And undead.
I thought there was also primordial, wasn't there, for elementals?
Plus 4.
That could be. Yeah, let me carefully check. But at any rate, so they found this
Basically,
really
any creature
groovy
that's not
amulet
native.
that will either trap or protect you from these various creatures. So that's a pretty cool find. Although it did, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead. Thank you for straightening me out. Then the party decided to continue on and inspect the apartments, and that is where they encountered Rue when Rue was done on his little trip. And so a conversation was had by Rue to explain to the party his true nature being that of a changeling. And so that was a bit of a big moment for Rue and for the party. And so that brought us kind of to the end of the day. The party is obviously battered and bruised. Pretty rough shape after their encounter with the hammers. And they've decided to go back to the Tower of Spectacles, as this seems to be thus far the only real defensible location where they hope to gain a long rest. And so our scene opens on the ground floor of the Tower of Spectacles with our party. Take it away, party.
Well, remind me of how we had to get up towards the. There was a second floor. There was like some stairs, correct?
Yeah, there are slabs of stone that seem to float around the perimeter of the circular-ish, hollowed-out stalagmite that you're in, that are not fastened to the wall, but they are quite firm, and they float and follow the curve of the wall around until they go up through an opening in the floor to the second level.
You guys think up there, defensible, get a nap?
Is there anything we could use to like block the door? If this is like a tinkerer's workshop, is there like a table or something we can just slide in front of the door?
Yeah, there was those barrels and a couple of tables on one end of this room. The barrels being with the colored liquids that you discovered if you combined a little bit of each one would make those potions. Yeah, you could slide a table across there.
Clairvoyance. Gears, perhaps we should move this table to block the door so that we can all be sure to at least slow down anything that may try to enter here. And then Al's going to try to push on it, and it's not going to budge.
Good music, Dave.
Fifth
Yours
level.
is just going to one-hand the table across the room.
Kind of drag
Thank
it
you.
over there.
I got it loose from the floor for you. Thank you.
Fifth level didn't really help you with strength, eh?
No, still dump stat.
This is what you need grease for.
Okay.
Alchemist jug. Throw mayonnaise.
Yes, so you don't have any problem, Gears, dragging the table over, although it makes this horrible sound as you drag it across the stone floor of the hollowed out stalagmite. Think Men in Black toward the beginning of the movie when Will Smith has to pull the metallic table across the floor so he can take his test. Yeah.
Ronvin is not wasting a grease spell on that. Actually, I don't even have that equipped anymore, but I used to have grease, and I'm like, we're not wasting that.
It's a good spell. Multi-use.
I was gonna go sit somewhere that would, whoever worked here would have used as like a workspace, like a desk, maybe a chair. Just sit up there, feeling pretty good about his spell book, and try to manifest some fire. Just sitting there doing his best, trying to just ignite something.
Yeah.
Did we already identify all of the stuff that we found?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Because she can still cast it as a ritual. I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Yeah, no, we got everything. The amulet, a plate of heat metal, these potions I got, something that projects constellations that I think Fragile took, explosive seeds, which I gave to everybody, and a potion of elixir of thought. Is that the thing for Ronvin?
Yeah.
And then we found this potion that we had held on for you. We thought you could use it for Miss Penny Swoops.
Oh, what does this potion do? And she kind of looks at it. What does it look like?
I don't remember what it looks like. Is it gray?
Yeah, it's sort of a gray, milky, swirly, thick. And you swirl it and it doesn't mix. It stays marbled like that.
So Ronwin will look at it and she's like, so how does this work? What does it do?
Trying to find it. I did not write it down last week.
Yeah, and it's not. What I've got it down doing is that you can use it to activate a construct. I don't know if that would be of any good use to you or not there, Ronvin, but it would give the construct an intelligence of 10 and a wisdom of 8.
Oh, so it would turn the itty bitty sparrow into a construct.
Yeah, well, she's already a construct, but it would animate her. And it would kind
Be a
of
real
bring
boy.
her to life.
Exactly.
Make Pinocchio into a boy.
Good at Geppetto.
Yeah, that excites her, but she's gonna safely like wrap it and stash it. And she's like, I'm not gonna use that here. This is not really a safe space to bring her, to awareness. I think too tiny.
Oh, come on. What could
Anyway,
happen?
when
Exactly.
the time is right, when the time is right, the time will be right. But just know that you will be ready to bring her to another level.
So what was it called? It was a potion of thought.
Elixir of thought.
Elixir of thought. Yeah.
Elixir of thought. All right, thank you.
And you also have really cool armor.
Yeah, she's got that already. That was 2 episodes ago.
The armor is the coolest.
Yeah.
Totally got to update, the art at some point now because stretchy armor.
Okay, so what are the rest of you doing? Algernon has disappeared upstairs. Ronvin is probably just going through her things, reading various blueprints for small constructs and mechanisms and gears and things. What about Calavera? I think will probably go sit and just sit and be for a while. She's had a rough day. What are Gears,
right.
Rue, and Fragile up to?
Fragili's going to be upstairs also, and Al will be up there, but anybody who's downstairs, you're just going to hear her repeatedly saying the same arcane words over and over and over again. and it's basically what you guys would hear from down below. So,
So she's sort of chanting, or more like muttering to herself, or
sounds like she's muttering to herself.
okay.
Al would know what's going on, but
I thought we were all upstairs because we barricaded the door.
I thought we barricaded downstairs.
You
Yeah,
barricaded
the
downstairs.
stairwells inside. The the door we barricaded was just the only way in, and
Into
then
the
we're
tower.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah, you barricaded the ground floor door, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Yeah. So I'm upstairs in like a workshop going magic nuts.
Okay, Rue, what do you got going on?
Not much. I think we're just sitting and resting. He still looks pretty beat up, too.
Yep. Okay. Gears?
Gears actually will be trying to get some of Ronvin's time to work on the shoulder crossbow to get it installed and set up properly and working as well as can be.
Oh yeah, the big thing, the big thing. She will totally try and sneak some gemstones in there because she always does.
Ronvin, do you have a cantrip, a skill, a spell, something that you would use to artifice this mechanism so that it can be fitted to one of Gears' stature? Like, how would you do that?
She got magical tinkering.
You have Tinker's tools, don't you?
Yep.
Yes.
And the upstairs is full of Tinker's tools also.
Yes, I mean she got jeweler tools, leatherworker tools, smith tools, and she can actually make the tools that she needs. She has the thief tools, and she can make non-magical tools of
Nice.
whatever she needs.
Tools. So
When she needs it.
what is this magical tinkering you speak of? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the thing is, the magical tinkering is you can have a tiny non-magical object, and I can imbue it with a magical property of our choice, like light, messages, odor,
Okay.
non-verbal sound, static visual effects.
Yeah, no, that's not what
It's
we're looking
what she used. It's what she used to make penny swoops glow.
for. Right.
She can infuse items, but for that she already did that. She would have to give up the one of the ones she's using.
This is more of just a mechanical. You're trying to adapt a mechanism so that it will fit and function on someone a little larger than it was maybe built for. So let me do this. Let's go with. Bear with me here. I'm just thinking.
I mean, Gears has Tinker's tool skills as well. I took it as the student of war when I leveled up to level 4 or 3 rather, and choose my archetype.
Tell you what we'll do, Ronvin. I'm going to have
Yes.
you make a whatever's higher, intelligence or dex. Probably intelligence as an artificer, right? Make an intelligence roll.
Oh,
Add your modifier, your intelligence modifier, and your proficiency. And let's see how you do with that.
It's 3 now.
So basically, you want me to make a plain intelligence roll,
And add your
or
intelligence modifier.
saving throw.
No. An intelligence roll. Add your intelligence modifier and your proficiency modifier.
Oops, I'm completely rolling the wrong thing. But okay. All right, so that's 20. Okay, so it's 17 plus 3 for the intelligence modifier, and then the efficiency. It's plus 3, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 23.
All right, Murfeather, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that very much. Welcome to the Wiley Hobbit channel. We're just playing a little
That's
D&D. 23 is awesome. So after about an hour Ronvin feels like she's got the the little buckling and the little things that fasten the straps and loosen the straps. She's got that all resized for something that will fit on gears, and so she manages to get this thing on, and it stays so snugly. It feels like that thing is almost mounted, like bolted down to your body gears. And you now have a self-loading crossbow on your shoulder.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. It'll be interesting too because the targeting system will kick in, and it's a cable that's sort of springs out of gears back a bit, shoulder, and then loops up into the crossbow itself, and you see a little blue light that comes out of it that aids with the just as flavor, not mechanics, to aid in the targeting as well, and then watch as it sort of rotates around. And gears will spend some time getting used to aiming and shooting with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Although Scott, I do have to ask, how's that going to work? Is that going to be like an attack on my attack round?
It's a ranged attack. Think about
Yeah,
a
so
crossbow,
it'll be like
almost like a hand crossbow, but mounted on your shoulder. It's self-loading. It functions. I think I said it was a +1 crossbow. If let me check my notes. +1 to hit and
You
damage.
did say that.
It self-loads.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. No, I'm just trying to figure out action, bonus action, that kind of stuff, where the mechanics and the economy is, and the that sort of thing. We can work it out as we go.
Yep. It'll function like a ranged attack, just as if you're operating a hand crossbow.
Yeah.
Nice thing is you don't have to load it. Okay. So it's late. Are you all going to set up your long rest?
Yep.
Okay. Are you
I
gonna
hope.
set watches?
Yeah, we'll set watches. Gears will take. We'll do our usual watch schedule. I think would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was
We're fairly
Team is
safe.
good.
Calavera.
It's me and Ronvin first.
Calaveras and gears are last.
Yeah, and then Fragile and Rue in the middle.
Okay. Great. So you set about your watches.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not entirely paying all that much attention into the spell book. Got one eye on the door.
Okay. It is quiet during your
We're on an
watch.
honest streak.
Ah.
Don't look so eager, Manny. You want a fireball suddenly comes through the door?
Sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if I'm on the second floor, everybody's asleep on the second floor, and there is nothing but not living flammable material down on the first floor. Hey, man, just come on in. Boom. Everybody's safe. I don't have to feel guilty the first time. Man, fireball was fun, except for the fact I killed somebody that I wasn't supposed to. No.
Okay.
Not
So
an evoker. I don't get that.
first watch goes pretty well. And it's Elgernon and Ronvin, right? So they're going to wake Rue and
For Julie.
Fragile. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So we will switch to Rue and Fragile. Ronvin and Al, you may go to sleep.
All right. So Fragili's going to be pretty hyper vigilant. She feels like we've gotten quite a lot of action since we came down from uh, Delver's Enclave, and she does not feel like being surprised again.
Okay. Um, it's quiet.
She's gonna well, she's at it. She's gonna ask Rue if you don't mind, where do you come from? I've never heard of your race before.
I mean, I'm from Neverwinter. I grew up there. I guess my parents came there from somewhere else before. I don't really know. Um, the changelings are rare, but they do exist in Toro.
Well, I grew up in Shade Enclave, so I didn't get out and see a lot until my mother and I escaped. I'd never heard of your kind before. I'm intrigued. Can you look like anybody?
Has to be someone whom I've seen before. I can't just make up an image. But beyond that, as long as they are reasonably humanoid-ish, then I can do it. I can change my voice to match theirs.
That's pretty sweet. Do you ever get caught up in like one character or person and just want to stay that person, or you always do you like get deep into them? Ever kind of lose
Honestly,
yourself?
I haven't changed. I haven't transformed in quite some time. It would it would go badly for me if word got out that there was a changeling around.
Oh well, I don't know anything. I've never seen a changeling before, so. But I don't know. That's kind of cool, man. Something new.
It's not really new for me, but yeah, I get it. I I hope that it's helpful for us as long as I do it in places where, people won't be able to trace it back to me.
I hate that about people. Why can't they just let you be you, man?
Yes, there's that. Unfortunately, life is rarely that simple.
Do you ever just think about how weird our group is?
Yes, it is an extraordinary group. I've, you know, in Neverwinter, I spent all my time growing up with other people, just constantly with travelers and going to different people's houses and all over the place, meeting people, new people every day. And I've never seen a group like ours.
No, I thought you were like the normal one. And the rest of us were kind of odd. Well, you and Al. Because you mean you got Bird Girl 1 and Bird Girl 2.
Yeah.
We've got Metal Man. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, we make an impression, don't we?
I don't think anyone's gonna forget us, Rue.
Definitely true.
And unless Rue has something to add, she'll kind of wander off into maybe humming a little bit, keeping an eye out the door.
I think, yeah, Rue is just kind of poking around at the different contraptions that are around, not really trying to figure anything out, just more passing the time. And, watching the door, obviously.
At this point, Rue and Fragile are going to hear Al like wake up screaming and kind of like kind of yelling incoherently for a couple of moments before stomping and hearing him like just really breathing heavy, but awake.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw my swords and run over. Al?
No, it is not. But thank you for your concern. It was a dream. It was very very much pain, and suffering. I'm okay. Um, I'm okay. A little sweaty, kind of disoriented, but coherent and just kind of flustered.
That sounds awful.
It has been a while. It could be just the divinations of the future that I occasionally see. It could just be a bad dream. I do not know, but I appreciate your concern, my friend. I am okay.
All right. Well, try to get some more rest, I guess.
Uh, Thank you. I am sorry if I distracted you while you were on watch. But thank you for your concern.
They,
And Al's gonna try to roll over and go back to sleep as best he can.
I was different.
yeah, I hope he's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have Calavera check on him.
So that's something to pass by you. I feel like talking to my mother when I was down by the falls.
Mhm.
I feel like our mission to get the dagger where it needs to be left is almost complete. Like somewhere down here is where we need to leave it. Got any thoughts on where from what we've seen?
I mean, if we want to destroy it, the forge seems like a good place. Um,
Do we know
seems like-
anybody who knows how to light a forge?
Well, I found a forge when I was exploring that is quite lit already. It is a raging.
It's not like you have a smith in the party, right? No.
I was about to ask that. I was gonna say, Ronvin Tinkers, do you think that she works a forge too? Because I don't remember ever seeing her work a forge.
Well, her father, adopted father, whatever she said, is a smith as well. So I'm sure she'll know.
We could have her throw it in. And if not, maybe we just throw it at the bottom of that pool of gray crap.
I feel like though, if destroying it was the answer, we could have done that in Toro. What was the point in coming here?
Yeah. So we can either destroy it here, or if we don't think we can, why not just throw it at the bottom of that pool of gray crap that messed up the end of Gear's glaive and stained it?
I mean, I will support whatever y'all want to do with it.
All right, we can ask the crew in the morning.
Stuff.
All right, Fragili's gonna get lost in thought again.
Yeah, we were just gonna do the same.
Just start humming.
Okay. Yeah, so your watch ends uneventfully, very quiet as you both settle into your own thoughts. And it is time to rouse Calavera and Gears.
Well, I'll go wake them up. You just keep an eye on. So I'll head up and I'll wake the two of them up. Well, Rue keeps an eye on the door.
Yeah. Gears is up and at 'em already.
Imagine that.
They don't sleep, so they'll they'll walk to post position and patrol the lower level. Probably driving Calaveran nuts.
Rue's gonna go up and kind of get ready to go back to sleep, but he's actually gonna kind of kill some time, wait for Fragile to settle down and go to sleep, and then he's gonna go back down and go find where Gears is and fall in step next to them on their patrol.
Okay, well, Fragili's gonna get some sleep.
Imagine that. Friend Rue, you should be resting.
I will. How are you doing, Gears?
I am well enough. And they pop the shoulder crossbow up and just sort of flash it around. This is useful. And then it locks back into a resting position on their back.
Got a
That's
lot of new toys.
Yes. So, a changeling, you say?
Yes, I am.
You seem different than what I had heard of changelings.
What do you know of them?
Where I am from, they are regarded as assassins, spies, and thieves. The regard is not positive, but is something, a sentiment I am familiar with receiving. You have been a good ally in our quests.
Well, thank you, Gears. I take that as high praise coming from you. Where is it you're from again?
It is a land called Eberron. It is not like this or the other, that where we were. I do not pretend to understand the shifts that have taken place to get us to different places.
So you don't know how you got to where we were?
They grow quiet and keep pacing, contemplative. They haven't chased you away, but take many minutes to formulate thought, perhaps a decision. It's not entirely clear, but after about 15-20 minutes of trying to figure out what to say without actually saying anything, they say how I came to be where we were in the lands around Dagger Falls was harrowing
unconsciously rub some of the older scars on their body. And you note again that while they've had a chance to sort of clean up over the days that you've known them, there's still discoloration on their lower limbs, like metal that's been through a high heat. And there's still soot in places, like a dirty flame might have been walked through or something. And they pause again and say, I do not pretend to understand why a Dalecare would bring me to your world.
Why, oh, what?
Dalecare. On Everon, there is a race of vile creatures that look like the one that brought me to your world and placed me in the hands of a very powerful wand slinger like our Algernon, only more powerful and quite determined to understand my workings. They seem to regard me as an inanimate object animated through some means they had yet to understand. And I was brought through a realm of fire and plains of ash and horror, burning to get to your world. It was painful. And when this creature delivered me to this one slinger, they left parted as though some contractual deal had been met. And the wand slinger tried to dismantle me through force, through spell, through machines crude of their own. They had creatures that might resemble some of my kind, but they were thoughtless anima. They had no mind, no will. My kind, the created, the flesh creatures like yourself, Collis, and my realm were forged for war, for battle. It is not a fair characterization. We are as diverse as any of the flesh-born, with many skills, attributes, and abilities. Some of us try to understand the value we bring. Others simply find purpose, often in war. This is my training. I'm a skirmisher. I kill things. This is my lot. But I hope to outgrow, perhaps, someday, that lot. I believe the Fleshborn call it retirement. We do not work the same way you do, but we still have thoughts, emotions, feel pain, see sights, smell, touch, hear. I may not seem the same, but that does not make me, I think, any less of an individual and part of a community. I do not have a great deal of trust or faith in the wand-slingers of this world, and I do not want to go back to mine. And I'm a little concerned why we're here. We're not where I'm from. Tremendous magic is not readily available. And the magics wielded by Calavera. He gestures over to Calavera, who's probably further away, keeping watch in another part of the building. These are not as prevalent either. The healing that she wields is nothing short of miraculous to me. I just kill things, including, apparently, animated hammers. You hear a sort of a trill or gurgle of gears that might be interpreted as a chuckle or a laugh. That is how I got in so many words to your world. As I said, not the most pleasant of experiences. And through this, they're unconsciously rubbing certain points. There's a burr, a deep burr on one shoulder where the crossbow is not mounted, that they can't quite reach, and they probably haven't been able to smooth out. Gears lapses into silence at that and continues their circuit.
Yeah, I think that Rue has just been like watching and listening spellbound, because that was more words in a row than Gears has like said this entire campaign. So he was not about to interrupt that. But afterwards he just says, you are absolutely not any less of an individual or a person or deserving of every good thing that life has to offer than any of us. I'm glad that you survived, that you got through what that mage did to you. You don't deserve to be treated like that.
No. No one does. I wasn't sure I would make escape. I left with nearly nothing, and I survived only by the graces of a worshipper of a god named Gond, who took me in and effected repairs. It is a gnome who took me in. Worships this Gond god, and it is for that reason that I'm deeply saddened to see so many dead walking gnomes here, and I do not understand how they are animated, but dead. We must fix this. It is wrong. There are many wonders here. It is a shame that this town, village, has fallen. It seems we have found some tools that are useful to us. We should try to find the source of this evil and quell it.
Then I'm with you 100%. Whatever you need, I will have your back.
In your explorations as a seeming of these dead gnomes, were you able to find any clues as to what caused this disaster?
The gnomes that I found, as far as I could tell, they still thought that they were alive. They literally, I stood and watched them eat a meal together as if nothing was amiss. They just sat and ate and then sat on a couch together, passing the time like any normal people would. There was no indication of anyone controlling them or them reporting to anyone. It was truly eerie.
Yet they were dead?
Undead, I suppose. Like the ones that attacked us.
And a whir of a flywheel seems to spin down as though a sigh. Gears shakes their head. We must rate this. I think Ebener would be insistent upon that particular point. Ebener was right. Was my Gondite savior, I suppose. The gnome.
No.
A very kindly old gnome who took in an animated statue.
Well, I'm sure he would be proud of the things that you've accomplished with us.
One hopes. And they look at their glaive with a certain wistfulness and thump it on the ground. Morning comes. You should rest.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need anything of me, just let me know. And Rue will kind of reach up to kind of slap Gears on the back and then make his way up to bed. And I would like to request that Gears get a point of inspiration for that.
Yeah, each of you should check the empty box on your character sheet where inspiration is indicated, please. Well done. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Okay, that brings us to the end of our long rest. So as you do customarily, you rise and shine, such that it is. Given the lack of circadian, day and night, some of you may struggle to awaken. So Gears, I would picture Gears maybe making sure everybody's awake, as he's more running on a timer than a natural cycle. Yeah.
Well, I think if people need more sleep, we can probably affect some of that. But
Yep.
yeah, wake everyone up, get up ready. Hey guys, we have a hot plate.
We can make bacon.
Bacon.
Because of the circadian rhythm being off and his nightmare, Al's going to kind of struggle to wake up and seem a little kind of, groggy. I don't want to say disoriented. Are any of, in a very specific question, are any of the braziers in this space made of brass?
There's, yeah, but they look like they've never been used. You would sense by that notion that there's, never been fire in them, they're just an empty brazier. The gnomes must get their light source, or used to have gotten their light source,
I would imagine it's the vessel that I'm after. So Al's going to kind of, I guess, get his mind right. He's going to summon Delphi real quick. Bend down, look at him. You have been a very faithful friend in this, but I feel it is time for the aid of something else. I will always remember you, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. Go off, say goodbye to the others, and I will see you again. And Delphi is going to go off and do the little kitty cat through the legs thing to everybody, especially to Rue. Really get in there and give him the nudges with the head on his foot. He's going to meow curiously at Gears until Gears pets him or does something.
And Gears will squat down and with one massive finger just sort of rub the top of their head and look at it intently.
He's going to nuzzle at it and really give you the boat motor purring. He's going to go get up on a table, look for Geely in the eye in a creepy kind of kitty cat from another world kind of way. Meow at her, run off. She's going to nudge Miss Penny Swoops and Ronvin and definitely do some biscuit making on Calavera. And then Al's going to sit down and begin his ritual to cast Find Familiar and we're going to replace Delphi with something a little more conducive to being underground.
Lump.
Very well.
After Al is done with that, at some point, Rue will come over. Al, do you, through the nightmare that you had, do you recall any of it?
Not visuals, only feelings of pain and dread. It is not the first time. As I said, the at nights the divinations, I don't know what is a vision and what is a nightmare.
I don't think this was your divination magic.
It is
Because
something that's
I had the same thing happen to me.
Al's gonna look genuinely like shocked. It was it just sheer pain that's never seemed like it would end.
It was horrible. It was so vivid, like I was being tortured.
Yes, and like I said, I do not remember seeing anything, only just feelings and dread and fear and pain.
DM, was the experience of the dream, did it seem similar at all to what Rue experienced at the statue?
The statue.
The when he sat at the
the wall.
face. Yeah.
Roll wisdom. Add your modifier.
Straight wisdom. It's an 11. Unless it's insight.
Yeah. Yeah.
A very firm maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18.
Okay. You feel like there could be some connection, but yeah, you feel like there could be a connection.
This is similar to what I experienced when I was at the face of that stone giant thing yesterday.
Have you ever had anything like this before?
No, nothing like this. This was crazy.
I am genuinely concerned now that it is not just me. This place seems to be alive in ways we do not understand, and I believe and I hope that we can soon be free of this place and back to Dagger Falls, where somehow things make a lot more sense than they do here.
We have to figure out what's happened here and get out of here.
Agreed. There is so much about this place that just does not feel right, and I worry that the longer we are here, either the harder it will be to return, or that something may affect us even beyond our time here.
That's definitely a concerning thought. Okay. Well, Rue is gonna go off and actually pray for once. He's been slacking off at that, but he's going to do it this morning.
Okay. So, like, what is, when you pray, what is that like?
So I think he is going to go back by the falls, like where Fragile went. And she,
Okay.
described having such a good time with that. And he's going to sit down and pull the brass buttons off of his cape thing, which has the symbol of a monitor sort of etched into the inside of them. And he is going to sit and kind of stare probably for a few minutes and then look. I don't know how this praying thing works, but we're into some crazy things here. If there's anything you can do to help us. I mean, the last time that I kind of prayed like this or whatever, the next day there was an ogre that just about took my head off and barely missed. I don't think that was a coincidence. So you could keep an eye out for us again. I would appreciate it.
You experience something that you hadn't ever experienced in prayer, and that is a closeness, a sense of connection with your deity that you've not ever experienced. Probably a little disconcerting.
Yeah, I imagine he sits there for a while then. Kind of pondering that. Probably wipes away a few tears before he gets up.
Yeah, it's troubling and peace-giving and disconcerting all at the same time, if that's even possible. It was an eye-opening bit of time you spent there. What's everyone else doing? Calavera will have spent some time seemingly in prayer. What are the rest of you all doing with your wake-up time and all of that?
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Al's just going to finish his find familiar, and a large great barn owl, great horned owl,
Ooh.
is going to appear in the workshop. Basically, same deal as Delphi, a fey creature, an odd little green glow, and very dark in color to help him hide in the tunnels and up around the ceilings of this underground nightmare.
Excellent, Smithers.
So now there's something hooting.
They saw hooters.
Now there's something hooting in the zone.
If you've
I think Ronwen, she'll kind of wake up and just rub her eyes like a kid, and then she'll just like has these boundless energy and kind of like bouncing up and down, talking like 1,000 miles a minute about all the things she could build and all the things she could do. And then suddenly she stops and she goes in her pack. She's like, I want potatoes. I really want potatoes. We have a hot plate. I want potatoes. And then she's like, that's an owl. But I still want potatoes. She's very much food motivated this morning.
Yummy.
Billy's just going to break into her some of her rations and pull out some jerky and some dried fruit, have herself a little snack, and then she's going to find a rock somewhere to sit right outside of the house, and she's going to sit cross-legged, and she's just going to be humming to herself, waiting for the rest of the party to join her or to get ready for the day.
Mm-hmm.
When Rue comes back from his praying, he's going to make a beeline for Fragile. Fragile,
Yes.
we can't destroy this dagger. We have to take it back to Ion. We told Roentitas that we would take it to him and find out the story, and I've got a feeling that when you pray to your Raven Queen, your mother, does she speak to you?
Sometimes.
She did once at least, right?
Yeah.
I didn't quite. I didn't. Nothing spoke to me, but I got this very strong feeling like we need to make sure that the dagger goes back to Ion. That destroying it here won't fulfill the promise that we made.
I don't know what promise you made. I made a promise to the Raven Queen. I give a crap about the wizard. I have no use for him other than he got me here to take care of what I was asked to take care of. So I got it here. If the rest of you guys decide that you're gonna do something else, I don't care. I have no use for the wizard.
We can talk
But
to
since
the
I don't have it in my possession, I don't really have a say over it.
Fair enough. We can talk to the others, but I think we should find Iron when we get back and talk to him.
Where's this sudden like ion thing coming from?
That's what we told Roentitas we would do. And a monitor apparently wants us to follow through with that.
So when the hell is this a monitor even involved in the picture?
I mean, I pray to a monitor a little bit sometimes. I'm not like an acolyte of his or anything, but he was important to my mother, and so I try to, do him right.
Well, I'll tell you, I was told to get it here. It's here, so I don't care if you guys got some subterfuge thing going on. I said suddenly you want to give it to this guy. Whatever. Let's go talk to the others. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm fine with it. And she will literally turn her back on you and walk away.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go kind of find the others. And so what's the plan for today?
Al's going to be all about what he talked with her about. I still believe we need to destroy this thing. you said something about a forge. I believe we should at least look, see if this is possible. We do not know who these people are that are supposed to be the safekeepers of such a thing. If we have been steered incorrectly and we are facilitating somebody evil getting their hands on this, the repercussions for this land, even though we are not from here, is not something I am comfortable with. Um, my my training back in Chult was about magic artifacts and people that would come and steal them from our land, not knowing the consequences of their use.
Well, if we're going to destroy it, we can do that, I assume, in a lot of different ways. But if we want to get answers first, then, I mean, if we want to get answers, then we should do that first. Because once the artifact is gone, then
You suggest we find Ion before we make any decisions. Yes.
yes, that is what we agreed to do.
I do not trust the Infernals. That's what he technically is. I do not trust them by nature. I know that they believe in a deal, and that the deal is sacred. However, I feel that for them to constantly be offering the deals, they are not fair, no matter how they are sold and perceived. Uh, and I could be wrong. This could be a very admirable and honorable deal maker. My experience, especially as it comes to cursed items, unless his existence is as a safekeeper of these dangerous items, that this may be something he offers in exchange for a deal to somebody else down the line.
That's fair. All I'm asking is that we get a sense of him and at least try to find out the story before we destroy this thing.
Very well. More information cannot be bad in affairs of magical cursed items.
Let's say the rest
And
of
I'll-
you.
I think Calavera would speak up, if only to support the importance of making sure the dagger stays here somewhere. You know, like she was fully bought in on the idea of getting it out of Faerun. From what you could understand, that was, Fragili's directive was to get it out of Faerun so that it can no longer have the ill effect. It didn't belong in that world. But beyond that, I don't want to speak too much for Calavera. But I think she also holds great concern over it being able to cause any more trouble.
Gears, what do you think?
I would like to know how such a dangerous item came to the world that we left to come here.
Agreed.
is the question I believe we need answered. Otherwise, I do not understand. It's a weapon. If this Ion knows how they came to be in the world that we left, then so be it. We will know more. Let us determine what has caused this disaster of what Violet Falls. The area seems largely intact, but the residents are not what they once were.
Well, do we want to go check on, investigate this forge or the giant face in the wall or something else?
Tell us more about this face you found. Is it animated, or just still?
It was still, it appeared to be the face of a stone giant. I couldn't tell whether it was carved or just actual stone. It had one of those grindle root spires sticking out through its forehead, and it seemed to be in quite a bit of pain, or the artist expressed pain in the rendering of it, one way or the other. And then it had a hand that was coming up through the nearby chasm, which was full of grindleroot spires. And then when I sat down in front of this face, I got a vision of great pain and suffering.
Unusual.
Yes, you can say that again.
Unusual.
Thank you.
So Runrin is here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming the party is all kind of in the inside the tower or just outside the tower.
No,
I
for
guess.
Jilly's over at the waterfalls because she's pissed off at Rue.
Yeah, probably pouting.
She's pissed off. There's a difference.
Well, you can be pissed off and pouting, believe me. We women can do it all at the same time. But Runrin will then be looking over and be like, pain and suffering. Did you fall asleep? Because I sure had a horrible dream like that last night. It actually felt like I was hurting. It woke me up.
You too, huh?
And that makes me wonder if that statue actually feels pain, and how would it make us feel its pain?
What did you all had this dream as well? Calavera asks very quietly, kind of rubbing her temples as if she's almost re-experiencing it, kind of one eye closed. That was a nightmare?
Yeah.
Great pain and anguish?
And what do we know about this Grendel root anyways that is must be causing this giant or the statue pain? What do we know about it?
Not much.
I don't like not knowing. It's like we don't know enough about the dagger. We don't know about why the zombies are still living their life. We do not know why they're zombies. We don't know what's in pain. We do not know what's going on. Let's find some answers because this is just driving me crazy.
I'm all for finding answers. Where do we start?
I say we at least look at the forge and decide if we do decide to destroy it, that we have the means to do so.
Maybe I can figure out, or at least see what it was used for. What was its purpose? I mean, it won't be like my uncle's forge, but maybe we can see what they were making here, or what its purpose was, or if it's still doing something.
Good. Let's do it. Someone want to go find Fragile and tell her we're ready to leave?
I'm gonna send Archimedes, my owl, that's right, over to Fragile, have him kind of land and do like little bird things in front of her because of her affiliation with the Raven Queen. Hoot at her and kind of, beckon her back to the group through whatever owlish nonverbal communication Archimedes can manage.
Yeah. And Fragile will put her arm out and see if the owl will actually land on it.
Yes. He's going to flutter up there, kind of sit around, and almost like he would in nature, start to use like your arm as like a branch and start to do like little owl patrol, looking around for, and just being super alert.
With his
Now,
head.
I know
Burning.
enough that Delphi was able to. You could hear and see what she was seeing, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you guys can come get me. I'm on the way, anyways.
Just for context, the owl is about 2 feet tall. As it flutters and does little owl things, the 56-inch wingspan flutters and does little owl things. Well, it weighs close to 5 pounds on your arm with large clawed talons and just a general look of serious badassery, as one might find when one looks in one's Discord channel called Mysteries in the Dalelands Player Chat. Has anybody ever seen a great horned owl before? They are horrifyingly, scarily big. Like, we used to keep the dog in the
they're
house.
Like emperor penguins that fly.
Because we had one on the canal, and you could hear it hooting at night, and it was like, I mean, it was like bass. Yeah, these things are magnificent. Yeah.
So
that's what perches on your arm, Fragile.
Yeah, Fragile doesn't flinch for a second.
Nice.
And she'll reach up and kind of scratch behind the little tufts on its head, and actually have a smile kind of come to her face as she kind of raises her arm back up and sends, or is Archimedes a male or female? Sends him back to Al.
You get a very
dramatic, like,
very warm look back in the eye,
strokes.
Fragile. Yeah, as you look this thing in the eye, it returns a astonishingly warm, kindly gaze. You've never seen that from a great horned owl before.
Okay. And Fragile's mood lightens a little bit.
If a raven had dark vision, I would have summoned a raven for you.
Aww.
Okay, that would have been cool.
It's okay. It's got feathers.
All right.
It's a badass bird.
So at this point, let's do this. Let's take a quick 5-minute stretchy stretch. And when we come back, the party can decide where it's going to go. Or if you've already decided if you're going to go to the forge or whatever, we can head that way.
All right, sweet.
All right, cool. Let's take 5. It's 9:08, so about 9:13, give or take. And we will see you folks on the other side of the break. All right, so looks like we had a technical issue with Ronvin. We lost her during break, so let me clean up the cameras and go ahead and y'all can get started with whatever it is you wish to do.
Well, I guess we start marching to wherever, or follow Rue to where the head is.
And when we leave, I'm going to be sure to put Archimedes up, like more or less directly above us as we walk as a group, but as high up as either the range of the spell or the ceiling of the chamber would allow, so that he can see, as much as he can. And he's got dark vision as well. So I picked the owl, or else I'd have gotten a raven for Fragile. Probably a long time ago. Hey, buddy, you having a bad day? Talk to my familiar.
Fragility doesn't usually have bad days. Every day's a good day.
Little fey raven thing around. Might liven your spirit, but unfortunately, the stat block for a raven's
We
not
could
that
hang
good.
up. I could feed her little bits of meat.
The owl will appreciate that.
Yeah. Or the raven. Either one.
Sorry about the pellet. If one of those comes up, those are gross.
Okay, so you're going to head to the tunnel where Rue saw that image of the giant stone head in the wall, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the tunnel. If you're looking down from the ceiling upon the entirety of the cavern of Violet Falls, that tunnel leaves the main cavern at 7 o'clock on the clock face. The stalagmite where you slept last night is at about 2 o'clock. The big, huge, giant pile of golden, clear crystals is at noon. The condos, the little cave dwellings, are at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and the tunnel you want is at 7. And so why don't we establish a marching order for the tunnel? Who would like to lead the party? I suppose Rue probably would.
Well, if the owl is up keeping watch, then I think Rue will stay back with the group. Actually,
But who's going to be on point in the
But somebody has to be first, and I assume it's Rue, because you're the one who knows where the thing
yeah.
is.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah,
Marching order.
yeah, yep.
I can stay in the back again.
Okay, we'll put Fragilian back.
Gears will be second to keep an eye on Rue and see if there's any dangers from up front.
Okay.
Owl will go third to maximize the space in front of the group that the owl can fly.
Okay. And Ronvin Calavera Fragile. All right, so you make your way over to this cavern, which is about 10 feet or so across, plenty tall enough for gears to get their head through there without having to stoop or anything. It's a natural cavern tunnel, and it goes about 40 feet. And here and there, again, you see the aqua kind of blue-green glow of little patches of that phosphorescent moss. And ahead of you, you see the tunnel start to open up, and there's this beautiful ethereal hue of the violet pockets of crystal that are in the walls in so many places in this cavern. And as you go probably about 50 feet, it opens up about 15, 20 feet wider, and then another 30 feet at that width. And it's not stepped opening, it's just generally getting wider as you go. It spills into a cavern and you're headed southwest. And so from northeast to southwest, the direction you're traveling, that cavern is probably about 70 feet, that diagonal. And it's probably about 50 feet across at its widest point. North to south, it's about 60 feet. Very odd shaped. It's not perfectly round or anything. And there's a tunnel leading due south out of the cavern itself. The roof, the ceiling is anywhere from 25 to 30. Closer to the west wall is maybe even 40 feet high. But this cavern exposes a massive stone head half embedded in the wall. And I'm going to show an image of it on stream, and I will drop it into the Discord as well as we're talking. But this thing is a good 20 feet high. And it's this, the wall has been carved kind of around this image of this head, and kind of this nice filigree, but the head itself appears to be quite natural. Just in the wall, it's three-dimensionally out of the wall to scale. There's a nose. It has a mouth that's open. You can see its teeth. The eyes are clenched shut, and there's this huge grendel root protruding from the forehead. And the face is screwed up in a expression that's just like frozen in pain. And then there's the semicircle of a number of low stone stools that are arranged facing, again, in a semicircle, facing the image. And the image is now in the Discord. It's also about to be on stream. So what does the party do?
I'm on Discord.
It's in our players chat.
It's not there yet.
Oh, it's still loading. For God's sake, internet, really?
Yeah,
Man.
that's okay. Gears is going to go up to this face and sort of examine it. See what it is about, like how well carved it is. Run their fingers over it. Try and see.
It feels like
what
skin. You can see the image now
Yeah.
in the Discord there. But it just looks like a huge face, and it's almost like 20 feet high. Just frozen in pain in the wall with the spire jutting out of its forehead.
You said it feels like skin?
Yeah, like stone skin. It's just smooth like it. Like if that were skin, that's what it would feel like.
Does it have give or flex like skin?
No,
Or is it just
no, it is solid,
stone?
solid rock.
Any chance those rocks I'm looking at are like fingertips?
No, it's just the stools are kind of arranged in a semicircle facing this image that's part of or carved into, somehow fashioned in this wall.
Here's will spend some time, sit on the floor and spend some time contemplating this thing.
Okay.
Trying
Al's
see.
gonna look at it and see if it's, I don't know, like an arcane focus or something, something to manifest something else magically. Or I mean, before he's just gonna cast detect magic and just go to town on that. But maybe a little wizarding thought process can avoid another ritual.
Okay. Yeah, as you just look at it and try to determine if there's anything arcane to it, nothing really comes to you.
I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and just go ahead and bang out a detect magic ritual just to see if there's anything going on, if this is just really just something, just what it appears to be with this thing sticking out of its head.
Mm-hmm. When you cast detect magic, nothing aside from any articles that you have with you, nothing in this chamber resonates any recognizable school of magic.
Julie's going to go up, not to the face, but to all those swirls that are around the outside edge.
Yeah.
She's going to actually pull out a hammer and see if she can break a little piece off that she can better examine it and see if it looks like rock or what. What exactly is it? Is it pure stone? Does it look like it was carved?
The stone around the head appears to have been worked. It's definitely got a texture to it that is different than the skin of this face.
So does it look like it was worked, or it's a magic work, or like
No, it
worked
looks
by
like it's
hand?
been
Like, do I see chisel
fashioned.
marks?
Looks like it's been fashioned somehow by hand.
Gears will continue contemplating it and mutter under their breath. What caused this? What artisan caused this to happen, to depict such pain and then put so many seats around it? Seems sick.
Is there a way we can determine if the root growing out of its head if that was there and then they carved this thing around it, or was the head here first and then the root grew out afterwards? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what ability check that is.
That's a great question. Damn you.
What is that thing I said?
Give me a nature. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Not too bad. No proficiency, but thank God for intelligence. And 18.
So as you examine it and you look very closely, it appears that spire has come through the rock. It's pretty similar to what you've seen in other places that you've examined the Grindelroot spire protruding up out of buildings, out of, wherever you've taken the time to look at it closely. It has that same, like the rock was there and the spire came through it. There might be little cracks and little flaking of the stone around the base of the spire where it, came out.
As Al is doing this, Gears gasps in pain and holding their head and looks up at this thing and says, "What?" How is this happening? I do not feel pain in that way.
Years?
Al's gonna stop what he's doing.
This. I see images. I sense great pain. What is this?
That's what I sensed yesterday as well.
It is what you have each described as your dreams. I don't dream. I don't sleep. But there is pain here. And they look up at this image and ask, "What is this?"
When you look at the image, it kind of makes sense what you're seeing now that you've felt what you're feeling. Roll me a wisdom.
Wisdom.
Insight. Wisdom, insight. Yeah. Which is wisdom, but yeah, wisdom, insight.
Okay, cool. Look at that. Natural 20 plus 4 is 24.
Oh, look at that.
That doesn't happen often. Men?
All right, everybody get out of the room. Let me cast Fireball, and then we'll see. Let's reassess.
No, no. This is not. This is not a statue. This is a creature. It is in pain. Great pain. The body must be titanic to be of a head of this size, pierced through by this Grendel root. The suffering would be unimaginable. And Gears is holding their body in spaces, particularly the head, as though in great pain themselves. It is almost overwhelming. Is there nothing we can do to extract this creature from this stony torment? I know not how it got here, but the Grendel root seems to be holding it fast. I cannot imagine the pain of having such massive spires of whatever these things are. Grendel root.
You break the spire somehow?
It seems unwise. It would likely cause more damage. It is inside this creature's body. If indeed it is a creature. Oh dear, looks like we've lost Mara. Internet's gone down.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It is.
How high it? So it's just the one sticking out of its forehead, right? How high is the one root coming out of it from like the ground where we are?
That head is probably almost. I think I said it was 20 feet high. It's not a 20-foot high head. That wouldn't be quite scaled properly. The head itself is probably 6 to 8 feet high, so that spire is sticking out at about maybe 5 feet and kind of curved up like a great horn almost.
So from standing where, if Al approached the wall, I could see it relatively close.
Oh yeah.
And inspect it myself.
Oh yeah.
Does it look like I want to pick at it and see if it feels, like organic, like a root? And just kind of get a sense of not to be whatever about it, but is it flammable? Because it's problem solved.
Right.
Just is it,
You're gonna burn it out of him.
He's just dying to cast his new fireball spell.
I'm just worried it's just going to burn just to the surface.
Every situation is flammable.
So
It's the new hammer.
everything that Kier said, he said out loud, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll finish yours and then I'll work on mine. Just making sure I actually heard it.
Did we do we have anything just as a out of character here? Do we have anything that can work stone or uh,
Got melded into stone, and the whole time you're doing your thing, I'm trying to figure it out. Um, it it makes something fit into stone the way it's more about how you get into stone, and I'm not sure if the same would apply to getting something out of it. How long is the root? If we touch the root and it,
well,
maybe we can pull it out.
you can get in.
Right.
If you cast it on the creature, they could possibly unmeld themselves out of the stone or something. Would that work?
Then we get into so its range is touch. It is not self cast, so I can touch something. It says it will something about the size of your body, because it's written with the implication that you're going to cast it on yourself and go into something. The wording of it is very much not about something coming out, because I thought pull the root out, just yank it right out like it's nothing. Or if the touch is the creature and the creature is big, then its size determines how big of it becomes, whatever it does going the opposite way.
Are Gears and Al having this conversation?
Well, Gears would ask, is there anything we can do that would affect this creature to remove it from stone?
Like I said, Al's kind of muttering to himself a little bit about the scroll that he found, and kind of just really really taking a good look at it and thinking, like a wizard, what do I have right now that can solve this problem, especially since that whole thing with Gears was very creepy, because every, do Warforged dream of electric sheep? I don't know.
Well, you two are figuring it out. Fragilia's gonna jump up on one of the stools, kind of like the guy in the picture, and she's going to seek guidance from the Raven Queen because she doesn't know anything else to do. She has no spells that will affect it.
Okay.
She does leave out a hammer and some pittons if those will help you at all. You can feel free to use them.
So you're going to hop upon your stool, your perch, and pray, attempt to connect with, somehow commune with, reach out to your patroness, the Raven Queen herself.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Mom loves hearing from her kid.
She does. She does.
Call your mother.
Call your mother, dear. Okay, so while you're doing that, what's going on with Al and Gears? You see Calavera is also on a stool with her eyes closed, just very quietly sitting. What's happening with Rue, Gears, and Algernon?
I think Rue is just watching everyone, feeling a little bit completely helpless. Just waiting for something that it seems like he can do, because right now he's out of his element.
Al's pulled out the meld into stone scroll. He's not casting it. He's just going over the way it's written, and seeing if he truly understands how it works. As he kind of tries to figure out and keeps kind of looking at Gears to see if, Gears is kind of like is expressionless, right? Everything's okay.
Well, the way they look right now, they're clenching their jaw So the hinge jaw is working up and down. Their eyes, which are normally not quite pinpoints, but fairly focused, uh, sapphire blue, are wide. Like the light in their eye sockets is quite wide and just unfocused, if you will, if that makes sense. Insight, if you want, but it looks like they may still be in a certain amount of pain, and maybe possibly hearing more from whatever it is that's sending this to them. And they're just
I do want to insight while I'm trying to put as many pieces together as possible.
Okay, what are you inciting?
Ooh, uh, if there's any, because without an expression, I want to see if all these things that are out of sorts for Gear's kind of default settings, if I can discern anything beyond his like what he just said, and yeah, just if there's anything still going on without like a facial expression.
Yeah. So what's your insight? Gears, are you taking this?
Yep.
Okay.
A 15.
For Geely, check your Zoom chat.
But I mean, you've known Gears long enough. This would probably be at least, at the minimum, atypical behavior for them. Although they've been inscrutable for a while. But it's definitely, you would have seen similar facial expressions after they got hit by that ogre love in the first few days that we were together.
In the middle of all this, Fragile suddenly like screams in pain and grabs her head, and she just starts rocking back and forth. And she's saying something. It's in Celestial, and she kind of starts looking like she's shaking off something, like she's foggy or she got some brain freeze. And she's like, "Whatever we can do, we gotta this. Holy cow! That thing, so much pain. Like it just totally disconnected me from communing with my mother." I felt like pain, like right where that thing's going through its head. I felt like it was going through mine.
That scroll you have, Al, would it help? What is it?
She's just rubbing her head.
Just doing my insight into Gears, not feeling very reassured, having Fragile have her moment. I was going to cast the meld into stone, and as he does, he's going to say, "Forgive me if this is not the right thing," and I'm going to touch the face.
Okay.
And then I'm going to back up.
You read the arcane words upon the scroll, and as scrolls are known to do, at least known by wizards, it crumbles to dust in your hands, falls away, and all at once, as you all are standing there, like, right, the eyes in this face begin to glow. This very dark blue, almost pulsing. And then you, Algernon, see, you're first to notice these glyphs appear in the air kind of swirling around it, arcane glyphs. And then they become so bright to you, the rest of the party can see them. Calavera gasps on her stool. The pain you're feeling for Geely and Gears, you feel your mind open. And then as you're watching in disbelief, the pain subsides almost instantly, timed with the fact that the head is slowly disappearing. And I don't mean vanishing, I mean sinking into the wall and disappearing. And each of you feel your mind open, and all you feel is this overwhelming relief. It almost puts you to your knees. It's so profound. It feels like rest and gratitude and peace as this image of it's like the head just like slides into the wall, and the wall is just kind of back to cavernous, craggy, porous stone and rock as the image of the face disappears. And you'd swear as you're like transfixed staring at it, you'd swear it almost, the face itself almost relaxed. You know, that clenched kind of passed, like the brain freeze passed. You know, that feeling of, oh, thank God, when you get really bad brain freeze? That feeling of, like, I'm so happy right now. Times a million. That's how much relief and gratitude each of you, Rue, Calavera, Ronvin, Al, Gears, Fragili, all feel. And then it's gone.
So Gears has collapsed to one knee and is just looking up at this now blank spot on the wall with a certain degree of wonder. Is the spire still there?
Yes.
Piece of Grendel root?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good.
And it's a good, like 3 feet out of the wall, like it was before. I mean, it's a pretty significant.
Yeah. So it didn't move at all. That's good. And Gears will get up and dust off their knee and look around in awe at everything that just went on.
Al, roll me Arcana. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Dave.
That's okay.
$18.
You're confident that what happened is the spell did what the spell does, and it melded this stone giant back into the rock and freed him from the piercing of the Grendelroot spire.
And Al, who did a little study into giants, would recognize it as a stone giant, he himself, not us playing this game.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. If you've got any kind of background, like all the pieces just kind of came together. It appears that there was a stone giant that was suspended in the wall that must have been there since the Grendelroot came some 220 years ago. And you have just freed him of 2+ centuries of absolute anguish and suffering.
Good.
The chasm that was attached to this room, how far from here is that?
Yeah, there was that tunnel that continued on through the room that Rue emptied into that chasm chamber. The tunnel only goes about 25 feet and opens up very quickly into that chasm. And if you recall, the chasm is widest in the middle, maybe 15, 20 feet across. And it's like a nest of these Grendelroot spires all knotted and twisted. And there was this huge hand that appeared to have been pierced and hung up there in that nest. And the chasm itself is probably almost 100 feet from tip to tip, where it opens to about 20 feet wide in the middle. And it's about 30 feet, 20, 30 feet down the tunnel. Again, illuminated with the pockets of crystals.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and look and see if anything there has changed now that the giant is gone.
Yeah.
As the giant disappears, I'm gonna look back at Fragile and Gears to see if, as whatever they just went through, either appears to be lessening or maybe even like instantaneously over.
Oh, Julie will have a look of relief on her face, and she'll just tell you that was probably the smartest damn thing I've ever seen anyone do.
Archimedes is going to kind of come over and sit next to Fragile and kind of do the head spinny thing, at least for a little bit.
Rue, you go down the tunnel, dimly lit by the now familiar glow of the violet crystals, and you peer down into the chasm below in the nest of the angry, twisted, sharp, prickly grindleroot. And the tips of the closest spires are still probably, 20 feet below the edge of the rift. And you look down there, and to your shock, the hand is gone.
That's actually kind of what I was expecting. But nothing else has changed.
Al, one thing that strikes you now that I didn't realize you had, or I had forgotten or something, but your knowledge of giants. One thing that does strike you is this stone giant. Stone giants are big, but they're not like as big as what's represented. So this thing was a gargantuan, and it was clearly communicating somehow with Gears and Fragile based, or at least for sure with Gears based on what Gears was sharing with you.
Okay, now that I can see at least that Fragile's okay, and Gears, are you all right? You seem a little more yourself now.
And Gears is where they were hunched in pain before. Their expression is still slack-jawed, if you will. So the jaw is hanging at an unusual state over their voice hole. And their eyes are a bit more focused, but still quite wide. And they're just standing looking at this now blank wall in what you might assume is something akin to wonder. They are not holding themselves as though in pain. The creatures that are in pain hold themselves a certain way to sort of protect the parts that are hurting.
How about that? How about the eyes?
Their eyes are, as I said, a little more focused. The light is still wide. It might be thought to be something akin to wonder rather than pain at this point. And they're just looking at this wall where there was something and now there's nothing.
Fragile, keep a watch on Gears. I worry that this experience, while painful for those of us of the flesh, may be especially traumatizing, given who they are. There we go.
this.
Okay.
Come on, let's go. Let's go for a walk. She says to Gears.
Um, and Archimedes is going to stay nearby to Gears and Fragile, and Al's going to go over to where Rue is looking. And what do you see here?
Well, there was a hand, I assume belonging to the giant. He'll kind of point to where it used to be. It was sticking out through there, but it has also gone.
I was going to kind of look at the chasm. The ground that we're walking on is stone. It's earth. It's a mix.
It's stone. It's rock. It's almost as if
Okay.
this cavern was, it's all rock. Yeah, the
Okay.
whole cavern floor throughout. Yeah.
And so the gap that creates this chasm is just a gap between two rocks, and then the floor of that is rocks, and then organic grindle root
Yeah, it's a
like
big,
sprinkled throughout.
it's like a big crevasse has opened up in the floor. And down in that, at its widest point, it's 20 feet across, and down in that, you just see this tangled, thorny mess. About again, the spires only come to about 20 feet beneath the rim of the crevasse. But you just see this complete nest of thorny grindle root spires.
Aside from the 20-foot height difference, right? If I'm standing on the edge, it's 20 feet this way.
The tip of the the tip of the highest spire is 20 feet below the edge of the crevasse. The crevasse is a good 20 feet across where you're standing, and it tapers until no more crevasse at about 50 feet in either direction from you, and the tunnel continues across the crevasse.
Oh, so we could go out to where it tapered and just step over?
No, the cavern also kind of forms the shape of the crevasse. You're on a ledge, but beyond that ledge, which is only about 20 feet side to side, the walls come right to the edge of the crevasse, so you can't walk around it.
Oh, okay. So to get across, we would have to go across the 20-foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing Gears is doing is examining this grindle root that's in the wall to see if there's any blood fluids on it.
Yeah, give me a investigation or perception.
Uh, 17.
Yeah, just examining. I don't know how closely any of you have really looked at any of the grindle root, but it's this obsidian black. It's shiny in places, and it's like a metallic stone. It's hard to describe that way, but there's no. The wall is almost as if the wall and the spire were always this way, like the spire was always through it, almost like the wall reformed around it. It doesn't look like the spire burst through it, like it kind of did when it looked like it came out of the giant's forehead. Transmute stone or meld into stone is a lot like, the stone almost kind of liquefies, or you liquefy into it. It becomes absorbent of you. And that seems to be kind of what happened. And it's back to
no
cavern
residual
wall.
Blood
No.
residual blood from the injury or anything.
No.
Does this material, now that you said that, look like anything like what the dagger is made of?
Not off the top of your head. No, that dagger was a metal dagger. I believe it looked like it was
Love the
maybe
hill.
of elven, type of make, kind of style. But no, it does not appear to have any of this material. In the hilt, the blade, the cross member, anything of that. You don't recognize any.
In reaction reaction to Fragili's request that we go for a walk, Gears' jaw will snap shut with a sharp clang and look at Fragili and say, "Very well, Fragile, where shall we go?"
I don't know. I just figure maybe just walk around. Where haven't we looked down here yet? I feel like we're just wandering around now.
There are places Rujahar reported. The forge might be next. This was a very unusual place.
It was. Do you want to go down and see what they're doing?
Yes, let's go and see.
All right. I'm not sure how far down we have to go to get to where they're at.
Yeah, the tunnel was only about 25, 30 feet down. And again, it's illuminated by and again, dim light by the violet crystals. Calavera, when you leave the cavern where the head was, slips down off of her perch on one of the stools, wipes her eyes, sniffles a bit, and quietly joins you.
If as they come closer, I'm gonna send Archimedes across the chasm into the tunnel as far as he can go, and just see if there's anything just through the tunnel in the darkness.
Right, and you've got a 100-foot range with your familiar.
Might be about 20.
Or does that improve as you level up, maybe? So Archimedes takes off, and he disappears into the night, save for those with dark vision, until he gets beyond
It's 100
your
feet.
range. And he is flying. You see through his eyes, he's flying through a tunnel the entire way. And you see little pockets of the crystals here and there. More of the moss, the blue-green phosphorescent moss. And when he gets to that 100-foot, you know he has, because the signal, you no longer see or hear anything. And after a few moments of silence and darkness, you again see through his eyes. And after a time, as he's flying through this dark, long tunnel, you see a crevasse and your party standing across it as he flies back to you.
So what, he went and just looped back?
Yeah, he just went straight out, realized he
It's
was
just-
out of range, and came back.
And it's, as far as he saw, it's just a straight tunnel, and would
It winds just a little bit,
phosphorescence be
but it's a tunnel.
no branches, no choices, and
Nope.
then the phosphorescence are enough to light it for the rest of us, or it's just very faint.
It's pretty dark and faint and dim, yeah. Seemed
Okay.
like the further away from Violet Falls it went, the darker it got. But you only went 100 feet, so it's hard telling.
It would appear that the glow is getting a touch weaker as we move further away from something that may be the source, perhaps, of all of this. I'm going to send Archimedes down to the, what is it, like a bramble of.
Okay.
Are they sticking up? Is that the dig? Is that they're all sticking up?
They're kind of in a bunch of
all
different
rogue?
ways. There's many up, but some are curled toward one another. It's just a thorny mess. Like, you feel like if you fell into that, it would really suck, bad. Like, funny 20-foot fall into a pile of really sharp ass spears. like a big nasty spear pit
Yeah,
trap.
like this is a Tomb of Annihilation thing.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna send like Archimedes down. You know, he's pretty big. So
He could land on
does
one.
does it look yeah, does it look like we could, if we can overcome the 20-foot height difference, could we kind of pick a spot, come down, and like, you know, like when you cross a log going across a river,
Right.
like in the
Find
woods,
a way
like,
that's
is
not
it a
all.
bunch of those?
It's pretty much pretty damn
Okay.
thorny. Like if you go down there, you're getting stuck. You know, there isn't really. It would probably be painful to try and use that as the means by which to traverse the crevasse. Like real high DC kind of thing.
Ooh, dexterity. Ugh.
Or we all get polymorphed into squirrels.
No, not yet. I wish. I was like, bro, we're all owls. Boom. We'll cross to the other side. What do you want to do for the next 8 hours while we're all owls?
Wiley, what is the narrowest point in this chasm?
Wherever you can get to the side of it and have a side, like the side you're on, the ledge you're on is about 20, 25 feet across, and the tunnel is about 10 feet away from that, you know, into the back of the little opening you're in. Across the way, the tunnel is only about 15 feet wide. So it's about half as wide as the ledge you're on. Otherwise, it's like sheer, you know, cavern walls going up. So it's basically 20 feet across wherever you can cross it. The chasm itself, you can see it narrow. As you look down, you can see it works itself back together. But there's no way to cross down there because it's nothing but walls, cliff face, whatever you would like to, the walls of a crevasse.
Right. But the narrowest point is 20 feet of this crevasse.
Wherever you can actually cross, it's 20 feet, yeah.
I was just looking up the rules for jumping.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, Gears could make it.
Roll perception. I think
wanted to cross.
I'll have Fragile roll, since Fragile came up last with Gears, and Gears is, you know, ciphering and thinking about what, you know, jumping or whatever he's doing. So Fragile, roll me perception.
Oh, 12 on the die is a 12.
Okay. You're standing there. Somebody kind of stops and thinks. It gets quiet for a minute, and you hear a very faint cackle of sort. Very cackly chuckle, like a stony, evil, malice-filled cackle from somewhere back up the tunnel.
So back up from where we came, or back
Yes.
down from where?
Back up from where you came, behind you.
Hey guys. Hey, Gears.
What?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
There's some kind of cackly, evil laughter coming from back where we were.
And with that,
You see?
we will end our session.
Oh!
The hell?
How did
Like,
this
if it's
cast
that
with
giant-
Fireball?
I'm fine with that because there's a part of me that's just like, see if the roots catch fire, burn this whole thing, and then all we gotta do is cross like a gap that's not like razor sharp or gonna pierce us or anything.
Okay, just let me get out of the combustion area.
I imagine the dexterity bonus to tree root probably not that high. I think the roots are gonna fail if they're flammable, and if not, then I'm like, hey,
Flammable.
the word obsidian keeps coming up.
Yeah.
That's a reference to color.
I picture a stone metallic something. This isn't an oak tree root. I can't just set this on fire as much as I'd like to.
That would be a fair assumption based on what you've seen and heard about this material. All right. And let me just
Nice.
write the last note here. Fragile hears
It's
faint
+3 luck blade.
cackling
Cackling laughter.
back up tunnel.
Fine.
All right, let's go around the room. Fragile, tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll do our little outros here.
Yeah, I'm Mike. I am Buckethead Clunk on my social media. I don't do a whole lot of gaming as of yet on social media. I'm hoping to change that come next fall. But right now I play here with this fabulous group of people, and I DM a game every other Friday night with my home crew. Started out in Strahd, went to Cormyr, and we are presently level 15 and spell jamming our way towards Raymond Feist Midkemia setting, which I am super excited about because none of my people have read it.
No metagaming.
It's always nice as a DM.
Yeah. Nice. Looking forward to that because we play Friday. Yeah. Good deal. All right. Rue.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables. On Twitter, I'm Fellowship OTT. But on Twitch, I am in fact Fellowship of the Tables, and I've just started streaming some piano practice, some beginning piano music sessions. So next one will be tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. So Saturday mornings and Tuesday evenings I'm doing that. So come on out if that's of interest to you.
He also has requests that you can get request lists
Yeah.
to ask that he play. And it's quite good.
Tickling the ivories. I love it.
Fun times.
All right. Cool. Very good. Gears.
Hey, I'm Dave. Hey Wilson on most of the social medias that I attend to anyway. I play here Monday nights, playing Gears, the Warforged fighter. And on Wednesdays, I also play here with the magnificent Scott, Wiley Hubbard, to play a game of D&D in Dragon of Ice Fire Peak, Ice Spire Peak, blah. One dragon, hopefully.